So, I'm back, less sleepy. I just was recording for 28 minutes before I realized that my driver's license and credit card were kind of showing. So, from my, mag wallet. So I'm just processing the slight disappointment, but at the same time, I don't really care because I think it might have been for the best. I was definitely rambling and ranting a bit, and not in... Well, no, it was pretty coherent. It just, it didn't need to be 28 minutes long, so I can sum it up. It was basically me catching up off of where I'd left off, which was the DO stuff. And what I was trying to explain is that we learn everything that an MD doctor does, all the same stuff. We just get trained as well in physical medicine and using anatomy-based techniques to basically reset the musculoskeletal parts of the body, or nervous tissue and stuff like that. And I think that it's very teachable, and I want to incorporate some of that into the channel as I'm going forward, because I think that that's a key part of the future of preventative medicine and keeping people from becoming, unhealthy to the point of chronic disease, because some of them, like diabetes, type 2, hypertension, cholesterol, high cholesterol, they can be preventable, and they can even be reversible. And I think knowing how to basically use the organic computer that you came here with, whatever model or shape or size or functionality that it already had, if you're able to learn about how it's trying to work, you can help it work better. And I've learned a lot myself, just changing the way that I've gone about things in my own life, and I'm a lot healthier and happier for it. So a lot less in physical, mental, emotional pain as well, just the pain management for chronic tension and the dopamine related... Where was I? I got hit with the heat inside the mask for a sec. I was trying to say, there's basically a lot of newer research about how especially neurodivergent people are to some extent more prone to certain types of chronic muscle tension and stuff like that. And there's a difference in the pain signaling and receptors and just the whole nervous processing, I myself have a lot of weird sensory things that I didn't even realize were specific to me until almost college. And then I was and I think that happens to a lot of people, but we're taught to just acknowledge it and then avoid the triggers. When I've seen in my own life, something that happens usually is I'll notice a certain hypersensitivity, and I'll be able to kind of microdose the exposure therapy so that it doesn't overload me as much. But nobody really talks about that unless you're able to afford going to an occupational therapist. So we're gonna talk about those kinds of things here. I'm kind of tired of everything in medicine having a bill at the end of it, and what else is there to do other than be irritated and channel it into something productive for the people of the global world. I'm so tired now. Okay, but that was the 28 minutes summed up, I think. And if I missed anything, I'll come back to it another time, but I can't do any more digging into that topic right now because I'm still grieving I'm not grieving the time lost, it's more the energy, because obviously it's energy, and it's just hot. So, but I'll figure that out. Maybe I just need to change up the sock stratagem or something. I don't know. But anyways, when I finally noticed the issue with my wallet showing was when I was trying to show you the solution that I found for wondering if my water bottle would be too recognizable, because of the stickers and stuff, and school. I don't know. whatever. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I tend to do that, but it's fine. Sometimes it helps. So I yoinked my dad's beverage glass, adult beverage glass, and I put stickers all over food stickers. They're encouraging, and I will read some of them to you. And the reason is because I'm gonna need to drink water sometimes. I'm a thirsty bitch. What can I say? I do like to hydrate, and soon you will too, because water is a cult, and I will get you into it, like normal water, not the fancy stuff, just water good, water very good. But yeah, so these stickers, basically, when everyone was super stressed out when we were starting med school, I decided, I don't know, inner child vibes, I guess. I do. The intrusive thoughts win a lot with me, but usually the good ones, and this is one of those things where, like, for prestigious, med school, I don't know. Everyone seems so chill and just anxious, so I brought stickers from the dollar store, because I thought maybe for each session that we had with, like, our little groups, I could give everyone, like, stickers. And I was super, like, nervous about trying it out at first, because I thought people would be like, oh, this is silly, like, like this little girl, you know, trying to give out her stupid little stickers. But I did it anyway, and of course, there were some people that, no thanks, haha, the fuck, kind of look, you know, but then there were the people that loved it, and I will tell you, especially with a lot of the girls, they love the stickers, and the, like, smiles, and the joy, and the, like, shared, that was girlhood, you know, was, like, our stress stickers. And of course, it wasn't just the girls, of course, but I'm just saying I think in a different way, it would make me happy when I could see my STEM girlfriends, pauses in between all those words. I have to. I'm queer in the anything and all, but my partner is male. I don't want to talk about all of that right now, so I'm just going to pause it right there, but, you know, to tickle the curiosities and keep the peace with the fact that my parents haven't necessarily seen the first video or this one yet, and I don't know if they want to yet, so I'm still figuring out how much I want to let myself discuss my romantic life, because it's a point of tension sometimes. So, yeah. All the time, technically, but in the background. Desi girl things. A desi girl. I thought I heard something. Okay, stickers. So, yeah. And one of the, I was in such a rough place, and you will hear about it eventually, because I think it's important to talk about those, like, the place I was in when I started med school, the person I was, the kind of, like, self-doubt and, you know, life stressors had gotten to me, and self-esteem was low, and timeline was that med school was still starting up, so, you know, you just kind of have to push through the low self-esteem and the imposter syndrome. But the thing is, I realized a lot of people were doing it in their own way as well. A lot of people go through the same thing, just in different flavors, you know. So, yeah, seeing the stickers, like, just makes some people smile. That was, like, especially anytime I was having, like, a more rough day, that would really put a Band-Aid on it, because it's, like, I mean, you know, we are so hard on ourselves that to just be a little kind to myself in the, like, hey, you gave someone a sticker and it made them chuckle, you know, like, that was, I needed it. So, some people even, like, they were putting it on their badges, and so, like, because we have a little thingy that the badge goes into, and, like, a little slot so that you can see the front displayed. So on the back, because it was, like, a solid color, they were, like, putting the stickers on there. And so I could see, like, when we were walking around or in the auditorium or stuff, like, just all the different people that had little stickers on their badges, and that's kind of what this feels like, you know. This is a sticker. The whole channel, it's a sticker. Some people won't want it, some people will, and I can't do anything other than just do my best with it which is to, once again, try to just be myself, give some people the space and environment, because you never know who needs it. I want it to be the kind of place where if I'd stumbled on this digital little nook, that's what she's... Oh gosh, sorry, what even? The brain rot. It's everywhere. Anyways, as I was trying to more endearingly say, I want it to be the kind of place where if, like, you know, a younger me, or even a me now, or me in the future, any version of me, and my loved ones, and all the people that have touched my life throughout the years, people that I've met, people I've seen in passing, every human being that I've just perceived that is existed, like, I want them all to feel safe and welcome, you know, whoever you are. I have nothing against you, no matter what you've done, or who you've done, or where you've done, why you've done, how you... Yeah, no, but I'm, like I said, I'm hyper empathetic, and I feel like if you're the kind of person where you felt like no one's ever got you before, try me. Maybe I will. I'm adding my email to the channel description as well, but I think it's technically, like, if you click on the name or something, it's visible somewhere, but, like, the email that's associated with this is thenari66@gmail.com, and if you ever want to, instead of the comment stuff, if you ever want to just reach out, I'm here. I do have, like, life outside of this, so bear with me. I'm human, and I'm one of the worst people when it comes to getting back to text sometimes, partly because my phone gets so many spam texts, but, like, I'm too attached to this number right now because it's just a pain to change it. What a tangent. But my point was, if you need to reach out, you reach out, you know, I'm here. Yeah. And like, the thing is, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm the part of the getting to the point where I can start a channel like this is I'm no longer in the places I used to be, you know. They're there, I see them, you know, the rooms in my mind that are a little darker. Everything is there, but I'm a very different person than I was yesterday, let alone the day before, let alone, you know, when I was younger and sadder and more confused about my place in the world and the universe and all that. So a lot of what I want to share is just the peace that I have found along the way, because it is invaluable, and it's, like, it's pretty sturdy, you know? Like, it can actually withstand a lot of stuff, you know? It's cool. So, yeah, I'll read some of the stickers now on that cup, because they're cute. So these are from, like, it was like a food-based roll of things. Once again, dollar store, super cute. I put them on my laptop and stuff. So one of them just has a cookie, and it's like, one smart cookie. There's a popcorn one that says wow. There's a cherry good work. There's a fortune cookie, and the fortune says nice. There's a donut that says sweet. There's an egg that says excellent. It's so cute. It is a little I mean, they all have smiley faces, but the egg is just, I think the egg is me. I'm trying to turn my wrist. Don't turn like that. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, there's the donut that says sweet. I think I already said. There's your terrific, and it's a little boba thing. Perfect combo, which is burger and french fries. And there's an ice cream that says stay cool. Last one is a cheese that says doing great. So this is going to be my little beverage mug for these videos, I think. And I'm just not going to say anything about it until my dad does, just because I think it's funnier. And when he does, he's like, oh, where'd this go? I'll be like, I mean, you can use it. You know, I'll take my whiskey, leave in that cup. He can take his whiskey and leave. And, you know, enjoy some positive messages. Or at least enjoy, I don't know. Okay, So the next thing on today's itinerary, I feel like my forehead's just visible up here. Oh. Breath, sweet, sweet air. Lord. It is weird. Okay. So I also wanted to show you a summer reading journal because, so basically I said in the first video that I was like a library books kid. Oh, the socks are showing. And one of the things that I really loved, especially, was the like summer reading program that they'd have, where you could like write down how many books you read and like, I don't know, a bunch of random stuff, and you'd win prizes and things like that. Not every place does this, but stickers are relatively cheap now, and it's a good way to just give yourself motivation, no matter what age you are. You know, stickers, like they're fun, and I honestly think that there is a sticker out there for everyone. Like, you want a gold star? Okay, gold star. You want a red heart sticker? Okay. You want a Pete the Cat reading sticker, which I have gotten before because that was all that they had one time, and so that's what I gave my fellow classmates. Yeah. Stickers. So here's my little journal. Basically, I decorated with some stickers, and I also have to cover my name on it because my actual name is on it. Okay. Yeah, so this is my summer reading journal. And yeah, it's just goofy. On the top, it just says my name and then summer reading. And I doodled over it a little bit. The Pete the Cat stickers are on here too. No, that's not visible. Why do I do this? But so what I did in the journal is I'm writing down like, not just books, I'm trying to write down like study articles and things, like textbook chapters and stuff, and also whatever it is I'm reading on the side as well. And then I give myself a sticker for whatever I've read and, write down the date and stuff. And it's a way to kind of reward reading of some kind, because reading is very good, but we don't always have time to do it in a way that's like tickling our brains and really like exploring, So if anyone wants to join me in our slightly more grown up or whatever age you are, though I did say these videos weren't made for kids because I'm like saying random stuff. But I don't know, whoever you are, summer reading with me, feel free to, like, I don't know, you can write down things that you've read in the comments. You can, I don't know, email me the list of books you read at the end of the summer, or tell me that you're doing it and that you will email the list. If you want some accountability, I can email you back on a certain date and be like, did you read these books? Did you finish that book? I can try to. No promises, but again, I can try. And the thing is also, y'all can do that with each other, like I think that's the whole thing, is people think it's like, I don't know what the thing is about. Some people think that growing up has to be boring. Like, you become an adult and then you become boring and life becomes boring and there's no motivation or rewards for anything. Sorry, I just kicked the iPad stand chair. So yeah, like fuck that. I want stickers and I like reading, and why shouldn't I give myself stickers for reading when I have to do a lot of it for school, as well as because I just want to, and I want to be nice to myself. That's part of the growth mindset stuff, is, rewarding yourself for the things that you do instead of, shaming yourself for all the things you didn't get to on your to-do list, or that you didn't, I don't know. You get what I'm saying. So that was the summer reading. And then next thing is I just want to make sure it's still going. Yep. The intrusive thought that I'll turn it off at some point. I mean, we're only at 19-ish minutes. Like, I'm making pretty good time considering the last one was the 28 minutes of just the one thing. But yeah, so I wrote something earlier today and I was like, I'll share that. It's gonna be weird kind of reading with this, but I'm gonna try. Bear with me. But yeah. So I just wrote sort of like a letter to I don't know, it's sort of a reflection, sort of a, I be words, because I like to word just to process the world around me. It's not always great words, but this one was kind of just about what it means to, like, be a literate person in this day and age, and to be, like, an educated person. And, like, you look back and you're like, ooh, that was privilege, you know? Like, education can do a lot of things for a person, and it's mostly because the systems that we have reward education, but only a certain kind of education and a certain kind of intelligence. And truth is, a lot of people are intelligent, they're just not book smart, which is, like, what the world kind of runs off of a lot in certain areas. You know, obviously that's not the case everywhere, or in, like, every industry. I'm sweating. Let me cool off real quick. Sorry, I might have just blown directly into the mic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't realize how terribly warm I had gotten, but perhaps it's just a little bit of the anxiety of sharing words that I write. But, you know, what else is there to do in life than to create, to think, to process, to feel, to exist, and, you know, ponder existence? I think that's fun. I enjoy it, and I think it is important, because when you don't reflect on yourself, the world around you, you become stagnant, and you become very stuck in your own perception of the world and reality, you know. And I want to push people to think more and to question things, to question themselves. I think it's important to just always be water, to be ever changing and ever growing and ever, like, open to whatever it is life is ready to throw at you, because there's a lesson around every corner, no matter how sharp it is. So, all right. So today we got To Every Letter I've Lost, which, title-wise, I'm just kind of, I got the title idea before I even started writing, and so it doesn't necessarily immediately make sense why I called it that. But I was thinking about how writing with a pen, like the way that I was in this, just, it always feels so different from writing on a computer. Like, I feel like I lose something when I type, because I'm not creating the letter. I'm creating words, but to draw a letter is, like, its own kind of a meditation, you know, to, like, write physically. The way that you're timing out the words and things in your mind is very different, you know. But yeah, writing is, you know, writing, it's undervalued, it's important, and I don't know, man, shut up, Dari, and read the damn thing. Okay. In kindergarten, I was excited. I was told that school was where grown-ups went to become doctors, and I wanted to be a doctor, just like them. I heard how if I worked hard and I prayed to God, if I was a good daughter to my parents, and one day a good sister to a little sibling, hopefully, I would be a good doctor. One day I could help heal many people and save lives. On my first day, I was excited. I had been gifted an aerial backpack that was purple with wheels, too. I was so excited to make new friends and show them my purple aerial backpack with wheels. My best friend from preschool, we'll call her Sai Leela from this point on, and in future videos and stuff for anonymity of her as well, was not going to be in the same class as me. She was going to be in Miss Anderson's class. Pause. For context, Leela is not a friend I'm friends with anymore, but was a big part of my life. We'll talk about her. That's an interesting relationship that I like to reflect upon. So, yeah. Tangent. Anyways, my best friend from preschool, we'll call her Leela from this point on, was not going to be in the same class as me. She was going to be in Miss Anderson's class. I was going to be in Miss Sanders' class. That's what my parents told me, but I was going to be able to see her at recess and sometimes in gym or lunch, so that was okay, because at least we still got to go to the same school. Our other friend from preschool was not going to be at the school with us. Her family had to move to Virginia because her dad got a new job, and I missed her sometimes. Flipping. I hoped that she would make many new friends at her new school too. We forgot many things about our childhood as we grew older. I read that in the wrong tense that it wasn't written in. This just happens. Also keep in mind I'm reading with one eye, so sorry. Alright. We forget many things about our childhood as we grow older, but some things we are able to hold on to. Happy memories, sweet snippets of friends, sweets, cupcakes that look too cool to be true, days so fun in the summer sun, so hot my friends called me black for days long after, but I laughed because we were still just having fun in the sun. I figured they didn't know that the word dark existed. My papa told me that sometimes people don't know words, and so you teach them new words. He told me new words sometimes too that I didn't know. So maybe I could tell her that dark was another word too instead of black. Where was I? Or so I thought. I learned a new meaning for a word I already knew that day. I knew that black was a color, the color of night, when day needed to sleep. Or when a marshmallow caught on fire and got all crispy and it was that darkest color you couldn't see anymore. I loved my black crayon and colored pencil because I could do so many things by drawing a dark line through other rainbow shapes or by drawing around a circle to make it pop. I didn't yet know that it was a color of people too. Or at least that's what Brittany said. She also said the F word, which later got me in trouble, but that's for another time. And she called my friend Allison yellow, like the crayon again, I guess. But I didn't really get it, because Allison looked more like the apricot crayon. I didn't know how to read in kindergarten. If I was in school now, and a white boy maybe, and also like that crayon maybe, I don't know anymore. Anyways, the teachers, they would have told my parents that I was dyslexic or had ADHD, but instead, Miss Sanders, who was an older, experienced white woman with glasses you could wear around your neck, she sat me down to patiently teach me how to write B and D over and over, and please and thank you, and shaving cream on the table with my finger every morning before circle time. My parents loved her, as any parent loves a child's guru in Indian culture. She taught me how to dissect the world of English language and to see it the way that the world had intended it to be seen. It was very confusing to divide the world into two hemispheres inside my brain when I preferred to see it as one big rotatable, unanimous shape, but I figured it out, and nonetheless, because Miss Sanders had given me stickers. And my parents were always very happy and smiled very cutely whenever I read to them or wrote my spellings good. I'm so sorry if that was so loud. And hey, math was quite fun, and I especially loved the magnet numbers that were all the colors of the rainbow, and the little wooden cubes that we would use to count things and to do addition and subtraction, and also make fun towers until they fell down and made a quiet, soft, funny noise on the table. Miss Sanders retired almost 10 years ago. Just slipped in a bit. Yeah, Miss Sanders retired almost 10 years ago. I went to the party, gave her a hug, and thanked her. I gave her sweets as a modern Guru Dakshina, with my dad by my side, smiling brightly at her graceful but certainly tired sweet face. We got a picture, and then I played on the tractor slides with the other kids at the farm where the party was taking place. Since then, from what I've heard, she's passed. As a grown-up now, I want to tell her thank you for teaching me how to see in English. I want to thank you, Miss Sanders. Hi there, if you can see me and hear me from wherever you are. Need a sec. The mask is really bugging me right now. Maybe it's just the emotions. They always turn up the overstim. Alright. I want to thank you, Miss Sanders, for helping me to learn the art of kindness early on in life, and by reinforcing it every day. I was quite a hyper kid, so I can tell you, Miss Sanders, that it touched my mama's heart every time I said, "Thank you, Mama. This is so yummy," after a warm, home-cooked meal made by her hands was in my belly. I could even feel in the hug afterwards when she just sighed, all her happy and proud of her food, and her heart rate, usually run by the corporate rat race, it slowed a little bit. And there it was, I could make out how happy I could make her by being a good and grateful kid. So I took pride in every please I dutifully placed before my requests to go to the park to my dad, because Miss Sanders, you told me to be patient and kind, to be polite. And yes, Miss Sanders, I know that you know that sometimes I'm not that polite anymore, but I swear it's only because they weren't polite first. Childish, I know, but I know patience now, and I know kindness, and I'm trying my best to make you proud too, Miss Sanders. My parents are still so grateful for you because they know you were an angel in my life. You helped me see so that I could be me. Literacy is such a currency in this world, Miss Sanders. I know that now because I too am grown up now, and I know it might be silly to ask, but you were old when I met you. Were you taught to be racist too? Maybe you were when you were little, because racists didn't hide as much back then, or so I've heard. But you didn't teach me the rainbow that Brittany taught me to see, so I guess you wanted me not to know about it for a little longer, maybe. And I get it. I'm a grown-up too now. In this English currency, I'm finally drowning in wealth. But the sight of this world is unbearable. Miss Sanders, if you didn't like Brittany's rainbow, then how were you able to deal with this sight? The sight of it everywhere. It hurts my eyes so much, Miss Sanders. I'm a grown-up now, and I can see the divinity and the sweet, innate kindness of my baby sisters and their baby brown skin. So excited for school. So excited to learn in kindergarten, like I once was. I feel so excited for them because I remember every drop of elixir that learning to see the way you showed me, it finally felt so freeing. But Miss Sanders, it makes my heart ache that someone not named Brittany has taught them as well about that rainbow at school. And I know if not now, someday they would have learned about it. So whatever, but it still hurts because it's just such a mean rainbow, Miss Sanders. I see now that even Brittany herself was taught it by another grown-up, or a Brittany-like person our age, but I'm a grown-up now, and I know that she didn't know, and that rainbow She didn't know it existed when she got here. And someone even taught her how to use it against me and my friends in that mean way at school. Someone taught the whole world. Can you believe it? Some people out there even know that, but to not read or write, and they choose to live like that. To not read or write, but to know that rainbow by choice. Brittany's stupid rainbow. Can you believe that, Miss Sanders? You taught crazy little kids like me how to sit still and focus and really use our hyperactive minds for decades of your life, while some others out there chose to waste their irreplaceable and invaluable breaths on that stupid fucking rainbow. And don't even get me started on how much some of those people hate other rainbows more now. My little baby sisters, how sad they will feel to learn about all that one day as well. But I'm trying, Miss Sanders, I'm trying. Patience and kindness. I hope you're doing so very dearly well. Thank you for this priceless skill, tool, art, whatever it is. Thank you. I know how many other kids like me that preferred that one spherical picture. They didn't have teachers like you. They're not as blinged out with verbiage. And it costs a tricky, unjust, never-ending, silent, devilish price. So, here's to patience, to progress, to kindness. I love you, Miss Sanders. Take care of yourself out there in the great beyond. Like it always said on those bulletin boards in the hallways. Wherever there's knowledge, adventure awaits. Or something like that. I don't know, ma'am. I was 5. It's still a little foggy. See you out there. Love, Daria. Yeah. Ooh, that made a plop. So, yeah, that's my little letter to Miss Sanders and to all the letters that I've lost in this ever fast-paced, running world. I don't know. Like, I look at how quickly kids are taught to type, and I think back to how much fun I had being taught how to write in cursive. Like, learning new skills, it's hard, and no matter what age you are, when you learn something new that you're uncomfortable with, you hit a wall. And that frustration can be overwhelming on a physical level even, but it's not a good enough reason to just stop learning and become stagnant. And the people that become stagnant, stubborn, rigid, they're the people that fall behind in the world and lose whatever peace they had. And yeah, I mean, it's a sorrowful existence, and I don't want any part of it. And I think a lot of people out there don't either. So be curious. Just be curious. It's literally free. And you never know where a day could take you, where a certain experience or person or animal, a certain flower or tree. Even just a Google search, you're always on, like, a phone and on the internet. Like, just Google things and learn. And I know a lot of people do, but, it's like there's this pressure that if you don't do something that's making money, you're doing not valuable things. But at the end of the day, we're all going to die and go down into the same dirt, whether it's by ash or by coffin or whatever it is, unmarked grave, unnamed grave, I think, in Islam. I don't know all the other funeral things. I don't know. It'd be a good thing to learn more about, is different, like, funeral and death rites, and talk about that, because that's another thing, right, is, like, I feel like this world is very currently disconnected from what it means to know as a human being that you're gonna die one day, because the faster that life gets, it feels like the more people forget that the time you spend elsewhere, not on growth and experience and life and curiosity, that's time that you're losing before. So I don't know, but that's the thing, right, is everyone, at the end of the day, you gotta get food in your belly, you have to have a place to live. Some people do, not everyone, but for a lot of people, it's not by choice that they don't have a place to live. So, you know, it's considered still like this, I don't know, that's crazy too, that like having shelter is a privilege. I don't know, this world is interesting, but we're figuring it out, right? And I think that the kinder that you are to yourself and the people around you, no matter what, the more patient you are with the fact that not everyone's gonna have the same background as you, the same upbringing, the same parental influence or structure of the family unit, families at all. You know, like I grew up with both my parents. They were never, never divorced, which was a big culture shock thing to me, I think, growing up. Raised with a culture that kind of talked down divorce to a point that, I'm not saying like my parents specifically, but I think there's still a lot of conservative Hindu South Asians that, abuse is still allowed in a lot of marriages because divorce is considered worse. And the power dynamic that it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of really confusing things out there. But things are changing. People are becoming more open-minded and learning. And women be getting more rights, which is cool. So, yeah, just be curious, be kind in your relationships, and be patient with people that are different from you, because everyone has a reason that they are the way that they are, whether they are seemingly good or bad to you. You're not them, you don't know them, so why judge? Yeah. Okay, so the last thing that I had for today, even though I know that there's always more introduction that I could do, I just would like to kind of leave you with the book that I've been working through, which is, and I don't think I've mentioned yet, but so basically one of my summer reading endeavors has been the Mahabharata, specifically a translation by Rajaji, and it's like this physical copy that I got from my uncle, who I lovingly, we call him Snoop Dogg Uncle, because there's a picture where he's standing behind me and two of my cousins who are his kids. We're all like sitting on a swing, and he's standing behind us, and he just looks like Snoop Dogg. He looks like he's about to kidnap us. It's just funny. So yeah, so if you ever hear me say Snoop Uncle, you know who I'm talking about now. But yeah, so I yoinked that book from his house, and I've been eating it up, and it's definitely, the English it's old, like British Indian type English, but it's so beautiful and so great, and there's so many lovely lessons. Like, people consider it a religious text, but at the end of the day, it's just like the Odyssey. Like, it's an old ancient poem story, and this version is basically an English translation written in prose. And for those of you that don't know what prose means, it's like, not poetry. You're writing in sentences, you're writing as a story. Excuse me. So I thought that maybe I could start reading it here as well, because I think some of the little, like, at the end, like, you don't have to be a Hindu to read any ancient Hindu literature or whatever, because again, you can just read them as stories, the same way that people read, like, non-religious people will know Bible stories. Like, I know a lot of Bible stories, and the thing is, I think that's a good thing to mention now, is that I'm not very religiously judgmental in terms of my own, like, spirituality. I'm very, like, we all be feeling the same kind of spiritual divinity connection, you know. I was raised Hindu, so it's something that I'm more knowledgeable in, and so it's something I want to talk about more because I see that a lot of people are really, like, ignorant about a religion that affects a lot of people in this world, and they're also just really mocking about it. And considering all the shit that they see people have been through, along with any human that wasn't a white man in this world, I'm just kind of tired of it. Like, the racism against, you know, Indians and South Asian people and Asians, it's a different flavor. It's very, like, vendetta feeling, you know, like, it's very tainted with irritation because of, like, the model minority concept. But at the end of the day, the thing is, like, this model minority thing with Asians, it only exists because a white man came up with it. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna hate on other, you know, oppressed people like yourself if you are one of the non-white people out there? Or are you gonna, like, suck it up, learn about people that are different from you, and, you know, growth mindset, like, the more you know, right? So, and that's the thing is, like, over in time, one of the things that I want to do is basically kind of have my shot at reading, like, as many religious texts as I can, because it's just, I'm a very spiritual person. I will go into any house of anything, and I will find God anywhere, whatever you want to call it. I'm always feeling that ish, and I think it's definitely a really powerful, like, whether you don't want to be an organized religion person, if you want to just be in touch with the universe around you, I think it's important to feel connected to some kind of a, like, bigger idea. What I mean by that is, if you're an atheist person, I'm not here to change that about you, but I think feeling more connected to the web of people around you, at least, the, like, billions of people on Earth, to conceptualize in ways that are more abstract, that's a really good thing for your brain. So, you know, and granted, a lot of agnostic and atheist people are very abstract thinkers still, because part of why they ended up becoming non-religious, if they weren't before or whatever it is because they were abstractly thinking so hard that they were like, I don't agree with organized religion. Totally fair. Some sides of many organized religions are really screwed up, and that is just fact, you know? So, and it's definitely something that, like, religion is, I find the anthropology side of, like, human religion and spirituality very interesting, and the way that it plays a role in medicine as well. I love it all. So is definitely something that I'll be yapping about more. I'm gonna stand up real quick and just make sure that this is still recording, considering that the iPad ran out of storage last time, because I don't know, I don't want that to happen again. Fuck, it did. Okay, great. Let's see how far we got. The audio's still going. So I got 42 minutes before it cut, and the audio's at 49 though, so you guys have been 7 minutes of just me yapping. I'm so sorry. Well, hey, okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll pause this here and I'll read the story. Or maybe I'll just record the rest from my phone and then, nah, you know what? It's fine. We'll save it. We'll start fresh another day. I'm also sweating a lot inside this mask, so I'll wrap it up here so you guys don't have to keep staring at whatever copyright-free thing I put up in the background of this part. I really need to figure out the storage problem. I'm so sorry about that, but bear with me. I'm figuring it out. This iPad doesn't have too much storage, and I use it for school things as well. So maybe I'll just have to start figuring out a way to... I don't know. I'll figure it out. All right. Let's see y'all. Love you guys. Take care.